Hey guys, RockyTop is this weekend, so I wanted to go over a few things that we're doing differently if you're working at one of the high school fields. So I thought it'd be easier just to show you in a video. And all this is going to be on the little piece of paper that we'll give you that has a recap of what we're doing. So if you're working at a high school field, what's going to happen is Friday night the teams come to check in and they get 2 team photos made. And so they will leave the mall or RockyTop Sports World Friday night with a sample of their pictures. So they're going to have the regular group photo and printed in color, and then also the attitude shot printed in that old time sepia look. So the team mom is going to walk out of the mall with this, plus she's going to walk out with a packet of information. Okay, and either Terry or Brock will have went over with the team mom how to order and what to do. So this is where you guys come in. So when you get to your field on Saturday, you need to do a couple of things. One, you need to set up as close as possible to the main entrance, just so it's easy for them to find you. We'll have a sign for you. We'll have tables if you want one. I would recommend you take a chair. If you want a tent, we've got plenty of tents. Of course, that's more you just got to set up and carry and stuff. But you want to be as close to the main gate or the concession stand, the ticket booth. And what you want to do is you want to, as you're seeing a team come in, you want to approach that team mom and be sure that they've got their team order. We do tell them that the orders are due by 5 o'clock on Saturday, and so that is so that we can get them all printed and delivered back to them on Sunday. Alright, so you set up there, you'll have a little folder just like this, and inside of this is going to have game schedules for your field. We'll go over this in a minute. The sample sign-out forms, which tell you who you're looking for, and a couple other forms that we'll go over here in just a second. So you'll know who you're looking for based off the schedule. So your 9 o'clock game, you'll know the 2 teams that you're looking for. So as you see parents coming in wearing those shirts and stuff, you may even ask them, you know, hey, does your team mom have your order ready to turn in? Most of them will turn it in before the game. Some will wait till after the game. Some teams will even have 2 games on Saturday, so they may tell you, hey, we're going to bring it back at our 2 o'clock game or whatever. But do stress to them that you're only going to be there till 5 o'clock Saturday. If you do get into a situation, and it happens every year, where a team says, you know, well, we're not going to have it ready till 6:30, 7 o'clock, we did something a little different this year. Instead of putting our 1-800 number, because it's really hard for us to answer the phone here that day, we put a little QR code that will, if they scan it, it will take them to our Facebook page so they can message us, and I'll get that immediately. You can still give them our 800 number or our 457 number, whichever you want to give them, and that way they can call, but there's no guarantee that we're going to answer. So this is the best way because it's going to send me a message. But if they want to turn in an order after you leave, then that's on them. So if you want to stay a few extra minutes, if it's going to be like 5:15, that's fine. If it's going to be 6:30, 7 o'clock, tell them they need to make other arrangements with the office because you've got to drive back here and we need your paperwork, things like that. So that's the basics. So now we're going to go over kind of what to do on how to take a team order. And if you've worked it in the past, it's pretty much the same. We changed one minor thing that we'll go over, but other than that, it's all the same. So when the team mom comes up to your table, she's going to have that sample plaque, and she's going to have, by that point, she's going to have an order form filled out, hopefully with a lot of names on it, right? So she's going to have 10 to 11 names. They will have listed their name, what item they wanted, what the cost of that was, and then you know, there's some incentives for her. So she will have listed all of that. And so the first thing you need to do is, while he or she is there, is take that payment envelope that's stapled to it, and you need to fill that out. Fill it out all the way. It's going to ask for the team name, the date. The field location is whatever high school or field you're at. So if you're at Alcoa High School or Carter, whatever, put that so that we can keep those separate. And you need to count up and make sure that the money in here matches what she says that she's collected. You want to do that with them there. That way, if it's short, they don't think that, you know, that we made a mistake after they left, or sometimes they actually give us too much money, like there's $25 too much and she realizes she didn't write somebody down that just paid her a minute ago. So you want to do that with them there. You're only dealing with a couple of teams at a time, so it's not like you're going to get flooded, but you want to pull out the cash and checks, and it's going to ask you on this form, you know, how much was the checks, how much was the cash, how much was the credit, and so on and so forth. So you want to fill that all out. and be sure it's okay. Once the money checks out, then they can go on their way, okay? If they are paying with credit card, they're going to write their number on these little slips right here. As soon as we run that card that night, it gets shredded. We don't keep these or store these, so if they don't want to do that, I mean, there's really no other way for them to pay us credit card with an event this big, so that's why we're using those. But just be sure they fill those out and put all the information on there. Here's what changed from last year. We've always, if you've worked with us before, we had that little Teen Mom coupon card in there where if the order was $200 or more, they got $20 off. So we changed that this year, and this is what we're going to be doing moving forward, probably unless something goes wrong all of next year, is we put that where at $200 or more, the head coach is going to get the free plaque, and then the Teen Mom is going to get the free package D, which is the 2 prints. So there's no coupon for that. Basically, so if you see they've got a $200 order, you'll just make a note there at the bottom. You can add them in, and under the cost, put free. So if Emma was the Teen Mom and she brought up the order and it was $240, you'd say, okay, your order's over $200, so you're going to get a free package D. Okay, and just write the name Emma, item D, cost would be 0, and we'll know, and we'll go over how you're going to send the order in to us. Also, at $200 or more, the head coach gets a free plaque. It's just the plaque, not the accompanying other print. So they need to let you know whether they want the color photo on the plaque or the black and white one. And just make a note of that on the form too. So once you've tallied up the money and they've left, the only other thing that we're doing a little bit different this year is instead of just texting me what that order was, I want you to take a picture of the order form and text that to me. And I'm going to print a copy of that out here just so we can do a little more double checking on the order to be sure it's right. So, and if you've got to wait a few minutes, if you get 2 or 3 teams that are there at one time, and that's fine. Just when you get the first opportunity, take a picture of the order form. Be sure that it's legible. Be sure that I can read the top part where they filled out what team they're with, and then text that to me and go ahead and include all the information that we normally would anyway. Which would be your field location, the team name, the folder number, all those sorts of things. I will text you back and say got it or okay. Give us a few minutes because we're getting a lot of text messages here. But if you don't hear in like 10 minutes, like if you don't get an okay, send me back a message and say, hey, did you get that one? We're getting so many text messages. Sometimes one does get lost, so be sure we got it. All right, so that turning in the order. So once 5 o'clock hits and you've got all your orders turned in, then you can kind of start breaking down and head back this way. You'll turn in all your money and your sample plaques and all those things, and then you'll come back Sunday morning and we'll have all your orders ready for you to take back to your field. And then on Sunday, you're pretty much done as soon as you can get everything delivered. A couple of bits of advice is, I did tell you, you're going to have these yellow cards in your folder. Those are going to have who picked up the sample from us on Friday night at the check-in process. So it's perfectly okay to text them and say, hey, this is Chris. I'm here at Carter High School with Legends Photography. Don't forget to turn in your order by 5. So like if they had a 9 o'clock game and it's 9:20 and you haven't seen them, send them a little text message. Same thing on Sunday. As soon as you get to your field, I would text all 11 of my orders and say, hey, this is Chris with Legends. I'm here at the fields. I've got your photos. And because the sooner you get them delivered, the sooner you're done for the day. If somebody comes up on Sunday, like an individual, their team turned in their order on Saturday and maybe they weren't there, or for whatever reason they didn't order, it's virtually impossible unless you're at RockyTop Sports World or maybe at John Charlton Park for us to print that and get that over to you, because a lot of the fields are just really spread out. So in that case, you're going to have a few of these little add-on order forms in your packet. Just have them fill that out. They are paying a slightly higher price, and the Teen Mom was told that because that's going to include, or they're going to pay a shipping charge. So there's just no way we can deliver it to them. Now, we will do everything we can here at the office to be sure that the orders were right, but we're going to mess up a couple. So if you get an order and you're missing a B or a C or a D, text me or call me that Sunday, and we're going to have a couple of printing stations set up where we're going to be trying to kind of get those taken care of. There may be a situation where I ask you, say, hey, will you talk to the team mom and see if it's okay if we mail that? You know, if it's somebody that's really adamant that we get it to them, we'll get it to them. And we've met people at hotels and places just to deliver stuff, so we'll do that. But, you know, if you're way out, you know, at Carter High School and it's going to take us an hour and a half and there's only 30 minutes left in their game, you know, we just may have to mail something. So just, you're going to have all this in your packet. So just a couple of changes there from previous years. So if you have any questions, you know, give me a call. I'll be texting you guys probably Wednesday or Thursday this week with the final field assignments. He's supposed to have the schedule posted tomorrow night. So by then we'll know exactly what field everybody's going to be covering. If you're working the check-in, I'll be texting you about that shortly as well. You know, so plan for a crazy few days, and thank you guys again for working with us.